The forest of Kepler 442b stretched endlessly in every direction, its bioluminescent canopy casting an eerie purple glow across the undergrowth. Dr. Marcus Chen adjusted his atmospheric scanner, frowning at the readings. 3 months into the xenobiology survey mission, and he still couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him from the shadows. That's when he heard the scream. It was high-pitched, terrified, and unmistakably intelligent. Marcus dropped his equipment and sprinted toward the sound, his hand instinctively reaching for the plasma cutter on his belt. He burst through a wall of vine-like vegetation and froze. A girl, was cornered against a massive tree trunk. She stood barely 4 feet tall, with iridescent blue skin that shimmered like mother of pearl. Her large amber eyes were wide with terror as she faced down what could only be described as a nightmare-given flesh. The predator was easily 12 feet long, all rippling muscle and obsidian scales, with a maw full of crystalline teeth that glowed with some kind of bioluminescent venom. The beast hadn't noticed Marcus yet. It was focused entirely on the girl, who clutched a broken spear in her trembling hands. Marcus had perhaps 3 seconds to make a decision that would violate every first contact protocol in the book. He chose humanity over procedure. "Hey!" Marcus roared, waving his arms and activating his suit's emergency beacon. The shrill alarm pierced the forest's ambient hum. The creature's head snapped toward him, its pupils dilating to pinpoints. The girl used that split second of distraction. She dove to the side as the beast lunged, but not at her, at Marcus. Years of Earth's gravity had made Marcus stronger than he looked on this lower gravity world. He sidestepped the initial charge with surprising agility, bringing the plasma cutter up in a defensive arc. The superheated blade caught the creature's flank and it shrieked, a sound like metal tearing through metal. But it wasn't enough. The beast was designed by evolution to be an apex predator, and one lucky cut wouldn't stop it. It circled Marcus now, learning, calculating. Behind him, he could hear the girl's rapid breathing. He couldn't look back, couldn't afford to break eye contact with the monster. The creature feinted left, then struck right. Marcus barely twisted away in time, feeling claws rake across his suit's shoulder plating. The impact sent him sprawling. His plasma cutter skittered across the forest floor, its light disappearing into the undergrowth. This was it. This was how Dr. Marcus Chen would die, torn apart by an alien predator on a world light years from home, all because he couldn't walk away from someone in danger. The beast reared up for the killing blow, and then the girl was there. Standing between Marcus and death, her broken spear raised high. She was chanting something in a language that sounded like wind chimes and distant thunder. Her skin flared brilliant white, so bright Marcus had to shield his eyes. The creature hesitated, a low rumble building in its throat. Then it turned and vanished into the forest, moving with surprising speed for something so large. The girl's glow faded. She swayed on her feet, and Marcus caught her before she collapsed. Up close, he could see the intricate patterns that covered her skin. Not tattoos, but something naturally occurring, like fingerprints. She looked up at him with those impossibly large eyes and spoke a single word that his translator AI couldn't parse. Then she passed out. 3 days later, Marcus stood at the edge of his camp, watching the forest with increasing unease. The girl, he'd learned her name was something like Lysara from the limited translation his AI had managed, had recovered quickly. Too quickly by human standards. Within hours she was up and trying to communicate, drawing pictures in the dirt and pointing at the stars. She'd wanted to go home. Marcus had tried to explain that he'd help her, that his shuttle could take her anywhere on the planet she needed to go. But she'd simply smiled, at least he thought it was a smile, and walked into the forest. Now as the twin suns set behind the mountains, Marcus saw lights approaching through the trees, not bioluminescent torches, dozens of them. His hand moved to his sidearm, but something made him stop. The lights weren't approaching aggressively. They were processional, formal. Lysara emerged first, now dressed in elaborate robes that seemed to be woven from the same luminescent plants that covered the forest. Behind her came others of her kind, some warriors carrying those crystal-tipped spears, some elders with skin so pale it was almost translucent, and children who peeked out from behind their parents with curious eyes. At the center of the group walked an individual whose presence made Marcus instinctively straighten. She, he was almost certain it was a she, wore a crown of woven light and carried a staff that hummed with barely contained energy. Lysara approached Marcus and knelt. The entire group followed suit, a wave of bodies bowing before him. The crowned figure stepped forward and spoke. This time Marcus's translator caught enough to parse the meaning. Human who stands before death. You saved the daughter of our chief when our warriors could not reach her. You faced the dusk render with only courage and tools of light. You asked for nothing, expected nothing, yet gave everything. She raised her staff, and the forest itself seemed to hold its breath. The Shialara do not forget debts of blood. You could have walked away. Your people are not bound to ours by treaty or trade, yet you ran toward danger for one who was not your own. This is incomprehensible to us. Beautiful, terrible, human. The chief knelt now beside her daughter, and the others followed suit again. We swear ourselves to you, Marcus Chen of Earth. Your enemies are our enemies. Your cause is our cause. We ask not what you can give us, but what we can give you. For you have shown us something we thought was legend. A people who help not because they must, but because they can. Marcus stood there, stunned, as an entire alien tribe pledged their loyalty to him. Not to Earth, not to humanity as a whole, to him. Because he'd done what any decent person would do. He'd helped someone in danger. Later, sitting by the fire with Lysara attempting to teach him basic Shialaran, Marcus would realize something profound. Humanity's greatest export to the stars wouldn't be technology or art or even ideas. It would be this: the simple, stubborn insistence that some things are worth doing regardless of the cost. That some lines you don't cross even when no one's watching. That the right thing and the easy thing are rarely the same, and humans choose the right thing with frustrating, beautiful, terrible consistency. The galaxy, it seemed, had never seen anything quite like humanity before, and it would never be the same.